G'day time, my Fuzzyites, and welcome to a quick review of the FNAF movie. For this review, as I do all my quick reviews, I kinda just go over different plot points, characters, settings, and whatnot, give my opinions, how I feel, how I felt they could be better, and whatnot. I'm gonna start with the non-spoiler quick summary, and then get into the spoilery stuff very quickly. So you've been warned, the first part won't be spoilery. It will be a non-spoilery general synopsis, and then after that we'll get into more of the spoilery stuff. So right off the bat, I watched the movie 2 days ago, or no, yesterday, by the time I record this, on the 12th, so I watched it on the 11th, and I watched it 2 days ago with the Origami Owl, and overall, main synopsis of the film, it was, for the most part, really good. It was 100% really well done. The animatronics look amazing. They had amazing attacks. They had so much personality, especially in the eyes when they'd look over and squint. Like, oh, I loved it. Each and every one of them had such personality. They looked really good, and it just felt like they were those characters and whatnot. The overall story of it was okay. I feel like going forward they can do a lot more with it, but for this one, it was alright. Nothing majorly fine and whatnot, but I would watch the movie again for sure. Like I said, the sets and the characters and the animatronics, except for one character that I was kind of meh on, really did a good job with this movie, getting me into this world and wanting to see more. The story was pretty good, like I said. The settings were phenomenal. They looked really good. The pizzeria looks like it would be a literal real pizzeria, with all the stuff on the wall and whatever all the stuff's going on. When it comes to the lore, they completely upended the lore and basically put the pieces back together in different ways to make something wholly original while being pieced together by the lore that we already know from the games. So if you are a diehard fan who's like, if this isn't just like the games and doesn't have everything like it is in the games, I will not be happy. You might not be too happy, but for someone like me, who I enjoy the lore, I think, I've said on many occasions, the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's is 100% why the series keeps going. Because the games are fun, I enjoy playing them, but it would not have kept going if the lore was just non-existent or shit. And it's also what's not said to you, and you have to infer everything. That's why this has kept going. Because there's so much puzzles to keep you coming back and re-looking at other stuff to see if you missed anything. But yeah, so overall, for my non-spoiler review of it, it was pretty well good. For a FNAF movie, it was well done. Really well done. I liked it. I liked where it was going. I liked the characters. I liked the settings and whatnot. For being a movie in general, it was kind of just alright. I hope they do more with it later. And yeah, I am excited to see a sequel, though. So it's done well enough and looks well enough for me. But if you want to see, like, animatronics moving and really well done animatronics moving, this is the movie for you. So now I'm going to go into every single plot line individually, character, setting, character, story, settings, special effects, and, the legacy, I guess, because this is a legacy movie. There's stuff that came before it. So I'm going to be going into spoiler territory. So just be forewarned, going into spoiler territory if you haven't watched the movie. And I highly recommend watching the movie. It is really well done movie for what it is. I enjoyed it. I recommend it. Spoilers. And here we go. So with the FNAF movie, the characters all were pretty well done. There's two, I guess, one plot line that I was kind of like, I hope this comes up somewhere in the second one to add more drama. And I'll talk about that while I'm going through. Maybe I'll do a just pitching FNAF 2. But yeah. So for characters, the main character you have is Mike. I guess it is confirmed to be Mike Schmidt, but they never actually say it. When the one counselor is going, Mike Schmidt, he hesitates and doesn't finish all the way. And for Mike, I really didn't care for Mike. I will say before going forward, all the actors did an amazing job portraying what they were meant to portray. I really felt they were these characters and whatnot. They were doing their own thing. They were doing it well. They were being the characters in this movie. They all did fantastic. I loved each and every one of them. There was no actor who I thought like, yeah, that was kind of crap. I don't want to see them anymore. But with Mike, he just... well, he did a good job portraying, and he got better going forward. Like, what is it? So, Mike had his brother abducted when he was young. And so he's fascinated with dream theory, getting clues, and finding out who killed him. For me, the one thing about that is, okay, yeah, you go into your dream, and you look for evidence to remember what happened. But the thing is, yes, you can remember a lot. Maybe your younger self saw the person, and you can put two and two together, going back through the dream and whatnot. But you can't really add more to the dream. Otherwise, it's just fictitious. Because then you could be dredging up wrong observations. Like if you don't see who it is, and you go around the corner of the car, and all of a sudden, oh my goodness, that's my 4th grade teacher. No, that's your brain fitting in information into a slot that doesn't have information. I don't know fully about dream theory, but from what they said in the thing, it seems like you can go revisit your dreams, or revisit... what they're going with in this is you revisit past instances in your life to try and... shoot, did I even press done? I just think I pressed done. Oh, there it goes. Betrayal. Pardon me. Gotta check something. Yeah, I did do that. But with it, what were they going with this? So with dream theory, you go back in your dream to places you've been in real life to re-examine it to see if you've forgotten any instance, because your brain doesn't forget. But your brain never forgets information, it just gets lost. And that's fine. But again, I don't know what he's really going for to go back there over and over again. I guess it's explained later on that it's not going back there to find out what happened, it's more to be there in that moment and whatnot. But like, it's just a weird inclusion. I get why it's there. It also ties into the ending and whatnot, which is, yeah, which I liked. I liked it. This is spoiler free. I shouldn't be holding back. Or this is spoiler ridden. I shouldn't be holding back. But besides that, he also is supposed... I guess he's supposed to care for his sister. But he just seems like a disinterested... that I just need to do this type of way. I guess that's the point. He's supposed to not know what he was doing, so it's not too bad. But I liked... The actor was great in the role. I want to see more, and more happened later on. But, like, yeah. We'll see how it goes further on. Like I said, no actor did horribly. I felt all characters were good, and he did good later on. Just at the beginning, it was like, he's supposed to care for his sister, but I don't get that. Even if it's I don't know. But the thing is, I don't have kids, so I don't know the dynamic of that. I also never had to take care of a younger sibling when my parents were... what is it? His mother died, and his father abandoned them. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and that is how siblings are sometimes. But he just felt distant, because he really wanted to get to the other brother. And I guess, thinking about it, that's the point. He's supposed to be distant from his sister, because he wants to find his brother, get to his brother, and all that. And it's affecting him very negatively. But enough about his character. The other main characters you have are I guess Vanessa, who is a police officer in this, who has ties to the restaurant. I enjoyed her. So spoilers, complete spoilers for the ending of everything. In the end of it, you find out that Vanessa is the daughter of William Afton, who in this timeline is still alive, and who had kidnapped Mike's son, or Mike's brother Garrett. And Afton, I guess in this timeline, knows how to use Remnant and control Remnant, so he is in control of the animatronics. And that's when they get their red eyes, is when William Afton is in control of them. And so Vanessa, who doesn't want anything to happen to Mike, or Mike's daughter, Mike's younger sister Abby, and wants to just keep them safe, keep them out of harm's way. But of course, Afton, learning that about Abby, wants to introduce Abby to be another one of his cursed animatronics, kill her off in one of the suits, and then have another person under his control. Why he wants that is never really explained. There's no I'll talk about story later, but it doesn't really have any reason for him to want to get Remnant at this moment. There's no reason where I'm like, oh yeah, he killed the kids because he's a horrible person. That's clear. He killed Garrett's brother first, allegedly, from what theories are saying. No, Mike's brother Garrett first. And then he killed the kids. Found out, oh, if you put stuffed kids inside the robots when they die, they come back and whatnot. There's a lot to it that is just speculation, which is the movie, which is like the games. There's a lot you see, but there's a lot more to extrapolate from it, which is fine. I think this will get people coming back to look at what they missed, and I'm good with that. I like the movie enough for that. But yeah, so Vanessa, this is all going back to Vanessa, daughter of Afton. She doesn't like what he does, but because she's the daughter of Afton, William, she's kind of conditioned to like, hey, don't go against me. This is what has to happen. Be a good girl. As a lot of people who are abused / in areas they don't like, unfortunately, sometimes they go along with things because they don't feel like they have a choice. In the end, she stands up, and in the end of the whole movie, she's now in a coma. But overall, good character. It made sense why she was there. I like how they're bringing in different things from different parts of the franchise into one to make kind of a story that anyone who watches the whole thing can kind of be like, oh, there's, at one point you see the rainbow from FNAF World, I believe. There's Sparky's Diner, which allegedly I thought was the dog in one of the books, but apparently it is a rumor of a dog animatronic that was in the first FNAF game. So that's pretty cool. There's probably a lot of other Easter eggs they missed and whatnot. Overall, really cool. I like how they're pulling things together. Vanessa was good. Next up, you have Abby, who may or may not have special conditions, special needs, or something like that. I don't know how to say it. Because the aunt says that she has a condition, but no one else seems to agree with that. So I don't know if it's for sure or what. All I know is, again, another good actor. She played it really well. She went to the place, she's playing with the toys, she has her imaginary friends, and it's played up really well as if they're actually there, if she actually sees and understands and is with them, and whatnot. Like, yeah, another good actor in this. Like I said, all the actors are good, and whatnot. Yeah, she's there to communicate with the children. Then Afton's like, oh, I want her. And then the animatronics go after her, going to put her in a suit, and whatnot. And overall, really good. Really liked it. I liked her addition into this. I liked the reason why she had to join Mike in the security office is because another plot line that doesn't go anywhere in the end, which I'm interested to see what happens in 2, is that Mike's aunt with a lawyer wants to get Abby into the custody of the aunt, where Mike doesn't like her, Abby doesn't like her at all, and so they with that, I'm going over why Abby's even there. So at one point, you find out very early on that the aunt sent the babysitter who watches over the sister when Mike goes to work and whatnot to dredge up any bad information about him, blackmail, what have you, to make sure, like, yeah, he's not a good parent. They're not doing anything illegal at that point, placing evidence and whatnot, luckily. But they're looking for actual evidence to confirm, like, yep, Mike is a bad parent, bad guardian. He should not be guardian. It should be the aunt who gets to be the guardian, who allegedly only wants to be the guardian because you get the money from that. Whether or not it's true, I don't know, but that's what Mike and Abby think and believe, so that's what we're gonna go with right now. But at some point quickly later on, at the beginning of the film, the babysitter, her brother, I want to say, someone close to her, someone connected to her, and then 2 random people, all 4 of them go into the restaurant during the day to break it open and smash things up. While they do that, the animatronics kill them all in not so gory fashion, but still pretty cool deaths. Could have been better though, of course. And so Abby has to go with him because Mike now doesn't have a babysitter anymore. And Vanessa didn't want Abby to go there because she knew if Abby was there, her dad, who's a psychopathic kid killer, will want to kill her too. Or end her as well. Then other characters you have is the babysitter, who seems nice, but then turns out that she's trying to get him busted for being bad, but doesn't come up with anything. The aunt, who just wants the daughter, just wants Abby. You had the lawyer, who's just kind of... I liked him, because he was just there, sitting motionless for most of it. Unless something was like, yeah, what about murder? And he's like, nope. He's like, no, you sit down. Which I thought would be a bigger role into it. With him being like, no, they were planning this stuff. And whatnot. But that never came to fruition. So, I don't know if in the next one they will, because where it leaves the aunt in this movie is she is taking a nap, but most likely dead, in the house. So if they have a movie 2, I can see the lawyer coming after Mike, being like, yeah, he killed the aunt, obviously. She was trying to get information to get the kid on her side, kid with her, and he apparently just killed her to stop that. So maybe that will be a plot point in 2, but it's kind of just left there, where from that plot point of the aunt trying to get information and whatnot just leads to the 4 people who go into there being killed off, stuffed in suits, cleaned up and whatnot, and just Mike being told, hey, people broke in, you gotta be careful, because you left the door unlocked. Yeah. And it kind of doesn't go anywhere from there. It's just another way to get people in to get killed, which makes sense to the story, at least. It's not like Willy's Wonderland, where they go in there, and then are immediately like, oh yeah, it's dangerous, they're dangerous, we shouldn't go in there. Let's all split up. As well, we're in here, right? Which is the only thing about Willy's Wonderland that I fucking hate, but we're not talking about Willy's Wonderland, we're talking about FNAF. The FNAF movie, Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, so, overall, they just add more to it, and whatnot. So, overall, for characters, I like where it's going. Oh, Afton. William Afton is just a kid killer. He has control of the people. He wants to get, who is it? Abby as well to be one of his. Again, they don't really go into why he overly... Like, you don't have to explain why a pathetic human being wants to kill kids. It's horrible. You don't need to go into, like, oh, I just like the feeling of the knife going into the children or anything like that. Which is horrible, of course. But, like, there's just... You don't get to know much about him, why he's really doing it. Which, again, fine, but, weird. So you don't really get to know much about him at all, which is a shame. Hopefully in 2 they do bring him back and whatnot. He is shown, though, through various things, to be very crafty and manipulative. So I'm interested to see, again, how it plays out through 2, because in the end of this movie, of course, he is left in a room, locked away, in his suit, to die from the spring traps. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So overall for characters, I liked them. I liked every character who was betrayed. Mike, I thought could have been a little better, but we'll see. Even the story could have been better, but again, we'll see. Besides that, you have the setting, in which the setting is Mike's house, which looks like a house. You have a diner with a very special, cameo from a very special person. If you know, you know. Loved it. I actually laughed out loud at him saying his special catchphrase and smiled greatly when he came on screen because he deserves it. He is a great creator. He does a lot of good work. I would love to work with him one day. Of course, I have to make stuff for him to theorize on, but we'll get to that later. Maybe I'll have my wish. Yeah, and some other YouTubers as well, who I didn't really recognize, because I'm very niche in who I watch, unfortunately. But there was a lot of good people. But yeah, they had his house, the diner. But basically, the house and the Pizzaplex are the main things, and they look really good. They looked beautiful. They apparently renovated a Home Depot to make it, or something like that. And it looks really good. I like the pizzeria. It looked lively. It looked like the Freddy's Pizzeria would be. Very nice. 10 out of 10. Would go there and investigate, but not be a night guard. Yeah, not much more to say. They looked good. It was a nice spots. It looked really nice and fleshed out and whatnot. Excited to see what they do for the sequel. Going on to the special effects. Like I said before, the animatronics, they look amazing. I love their eyes and whatnot. I don't know how much of it was practical effects and how much of it was CGI, but it looked really good. They have a lot of emotion just in their eyes when they're squinting at someone they don't trust or just looking over. Oh, I love the scene where the one guy looks in the room and Chica just slowly turns to him and with her eyes just glancing over. Beautiful. From the main cast of 4 to the Cupcake animatronic, it looked really good. It made sense. Foxy is the only one who could really run. And yeah, the one thing that for me I felt was kind of lacking is, for me, I like in a lot of things the depth of things. I like to see the brutality, the interesting ways in which something could die. Because, Lord knows, I would never want to see that in my real life. I think it's disturbing to see people die, want people to die, and to actually go out and kill people. Which is why films and television allows me to see certain things like that without having it actually be real. Because, Lord knows, you can watch media, like play games and movies and whatnot, and not want it to be real. So when I watch stuff like this, I'm really into, like, the brutality of how they die. And don't get me wrong, there are some very, very brutal ways that they die. But I wanted more. Like, I just did, if you're watching this, I just did a whole Evil Dead month last month for October. And a lot of that was the killings you see, the creativity and the deformations of people and whatnot. Oh, it looks really good. In this, while the special effects without stuff going on, you don't see any blood. The kills, well, very gruesome. Well, you see blood a little bit, but not much. But, like, I want to see the animatronics actually, like, tearing into people and whatnot. There's implied carnage. Like, at the beginning, you see a mask of Foxy, I think, or Freddy, coming down with blades spinning in it, slowly going to tear up a guy's face. But that never comes. But you get to see it off. You don't even get to see it off screen. I think later on you see the aftermath of it. But like for me, being what I like about these what I like about horror movies and whatnot is the carnage that they come out of. I like Freddy Krueger because he takes whatever situation he's in and he morphs it into an area and kills people in creatively messed up ways. Again, I would not want anyone to be killed by these characters or whatnot, but that's why you go to film. I go to films and movies to see the awful carnage in the lengths people can go to. Not condone it. You should never kill kids and whatnot, and I'm glad they didn't, and I'm not saying they should have killed kids in the FNAF movie. Goodness no. But for the adults in the place and whatnot, I would like to see a little more. There wasn't much gore in it, which I guess is, you don't see much gore in the games as well and whatnot, but for someone going into a horror movie where gore is a lot of the aspect of it a lot of the times, yeah, it was fine. Like I said, I think the story was good enough to not need it, but like as a guy who likes to see gore and whatnot in a respectful manner, I think they could have put a little in there, but then you'd have less people going if it was super gory. So it's kind of a toss-up. Still fine. My one gripe on it. My other gripe. My only other real gripe that I wish they would have just kept out till later is at the end when Afton is being killed, he says his classic catchphrase of, "I always come back." Which at this point, he hasn't come back more than once. Like, you don't know him from his Garrett's kidnapping, Mike's brother Garrett's kidnapping, until the end. You don't know if he's been dead or not. He hasn't been dead. He's a real he's alive and well in this world until revealed otherwise. And so when he says that, for me, it just felt like it was just forced. Whereas if they had it where, like, the second movie, he's back, and then the third movie, people are like, how? And then he goes, "I always come back." Or something like that. That would have been more warranted. For me, it just felt like the one shoo-in that was kind of just meh. Because again, he hadn't come back prior to this. So I don't know where it's coming from. But either way, and as it goes to Legacy, like I said, there's going to be theories on a lot of stuff coming out. The person who was in the diner just did a theory that I watched right before this video, doing this video, where he talks about, like, what shifted and whatnot. And it does seem like they took the FNAF franchise, they took it apart, and they pieced things back together into different creations, like Lego sets and whatnot. You have the main house build, and then you take it apart. A lot of the pieces are still there, but you recreate it into something new. Like, I don't think Vanessa is William's daughter in the game series. William has two sons and one daughter, whereas Mike's family has 2 sons and 1 daughter, so they switch that around. Abby, which is an anagram for baby, which Elizabeth is the one who gets taken in. You see Golden Freddy, who looks... You don't see him move, which I like. I don't think you ever see him move. But he does move, apparently. And whatnot. But overall... like I said... For Legacy-wise, it took a lot of what lore you like from the games and changed it up significantly where I think it's going to be hard to pinpoint, like, oh, yeah, because this was in the movie, this connects to this in the games. It's just a completely different timeline, like the MCU to the comic books. A lot of the things are the same, but things are replaced or changed, or new things are added in, where it's still recognizable to the fans to be able to go like, oh, Vanessa, she's a security guard, but now she's a police officer. Oh, Mike Smith, he's the one that's going after the people. Oh, he doesn't know about that at this timeline. Maybe he never did in the games and whatnot, but now he's going into the thing. Oh, Mike has a sister named Abby, who is not Elizabeth and wasn't taken out earlier. But yeah. Overall, I will say in conclusion, like, it was an overall really good movie. I liked the characters, the special effects were phenomenal. Could have used more gore, but that's just me. I understand why they didn't, and I'm not upset that they didn't, but would have been more fun to see more gore-filled deaths. But also keeps the puppets more pristine that way, if they don't. A lot of good actors, the places look nice, I can't wait for the sequel. And overall, it was a highly enjoyable movie to watch. And I highly recommend watching it if you haven't, and I will definitely probably be buying it on DVD when it comes out, and probably rewatching it. But that's it for my review. Whether you liked it or not, let me know. Were you also surprised and kind of at Afton's catchphrase? Because, again, for me, I feel like they could have kept that till later on in the series, because I think they are doing a few more movies. And yeah, but stay tuned, because at sooner or later I will be doing a just pitching FNAF 2 movie at some point, so keep watch for that. And until then, thank you my buddies for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.